I am super duper excited for this. Before I start this interview, wow, I look like Dookie right now. I know this is a very different kind of content that I've done on this channel, but call it like the beginning of expanding. Without further ado, for the most exciting video I've done on this channel yet, here is my interview with Thessaly Lerner. How are you doing today, Thessaly?
I have a tiny purple chicken, so everything is happy.
Oh my goodness, that's awesome. I've done my research and I do have like questions and stuff lined up just on this little paper, so don't forget. But I'm probably gonna end up thinking of a few more anyway. Let me see if I can say all this in one breath. TV show, content creator, writer, producer, director, voiceover actress, ideator, and comic musical entertainer. Of these fields, because you seem to have dabbled in a lot of creative areas, which I really admire. Do you have one that's your favorite? You know, the one that gets your blood rushing?
Oh boy, it's a hard question. I really love, if I could do anything and be paid, I would just sit around and write songs and make comedy videos as the ukulele all day long. That's what I would do. Just create my own comedy content, comedy and music. That does not pay the bills. I adore voiceover acting. It's just the most fun. I love not being judged for how I look and just getting to bring my energy to a role. So that's like totally number one. And then the big project I'm working on, I'm editing like crazy, is I'm a podcast creator and host known as Rainbow Valentine. And I have 4 narrative podcasts about the counterculture of San Francisco, and I'm working on a new series called Psychedelic Women,
Ooh.
Conversations with the women of the counterculture, and it launches May 9th.
Everybody, make sure you go tune into Thessaly. Love the human being.
Rainbow Valentine is the podcast.
Rainbow Valentine.
Studio.
One of my favorite games of all time, Silent Hill. I have to say, you play not only one of my favorite characters, but one of the fandom's favorite characters, really. I mean, to this day, people talk about Lisa, her story. How did it happen? What were your circumstances of the time? This was over 20 years ago.
Yeah, so it was 1999. I graduated from college in 1996. I got a BFA in acting at Emerson College, and I went back to San Francisco, my hometown, and I didn't know what to do for a career. I was like, oh my God. And I got an agent in San Francisco, Stars, the agency. They're still my agent. I love them. And this is just an audition that came through. It was just a one-off audition. I don't remember the audition. I do remember the session. And one of the reasons I do remember is because it was one of my first jobs. It might have been my first video game. I've done quite a lot of video games since then, but it might have been my first. So the session was in San Francisco at a really cute studio down by the waterfront, which is beautiful. And I remember the Japanese video game creators were there. Like, they were at the session. I remember that.
Oh,
and there was
awesome.
also American producers, helping translate what they wanted. And I didn't get the script till I got there. I didn't know what we were doing.
So you had no prior knowledge of what Silent Hill was going to be?
Yeah, correct.
Were there any specific moments or anything about the character that impacted you at all?
Well, I remember it being an emotional role, and I'm a classically trained actress. Awesome. I like to feel, I'm an emotional wreck.
Well, I can tell from the voice, because that character, it really wrenches at your heart. I don't think it would have had that impact without your emotional depth that you gave to it.
Thank you. I am thrilled. I went into debt to get my BFA in acting, so I'm thrilled.
Would you say it was a hard role to play?
It's not difficult, but it's more work to be sad. To be
Well,
sad is more work. They pitched my voice down 1 notch, so that's a fact. That's an interesting trivia tidbit. I wouldn't say it was a difficult role, but I would say it's more exhausting to be sad. And I don't like horror. It's too scary for me. I can't deal. Yeah,
Really?
It's too scary. Yeah, I can't watch horror movies.
So at the time, I'm assuming you didn't anticipate leaving behind as big a legacy with this game as you did. But
I'm still shocked. I can't believe it. It's literally a paycheck. You're like, oh my God, yay, I was paid $500. I can pay my rent this month. Yay. For playing pretend for, a couple hours. And frankly, I feel like it's been recently like having a resurgence. And I think it's because of TikTok your generation, the people in their 20s, young 20s, like, you guys have discovered it and it has exploded. I have never gotten so much fan mail, so much interest. So it's a joy to hear that my work has touched so many humans. That's awesome.
how did you get into the Sims franchise?
Oh my God, that was the best job I've ever had in my entire life. I worked 20 days a year for 8 years and would get health insurance and was really well paid.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, I did this job for 8 years. So it was much more extensive than Silent Hill, obviously. I've been doing improv since I was like 6. And I remember that audition because they just asked me to do gibberish. Just do gibberish.
Just straight up gibberish. So they
go
just
for it. Here's all these emotions we want you to hit. And that's a wheelhouse of mine.
Of course. You want to hear me sound nonsensical? Just give me a bit more caffeine and let me ramble about something.
So that was a memorable one. But of course I had no idea that one audition would be a life changer for me. Some of the friends I met doing that job, the guy who played the teen boy, my friend Jack became a really good friend. The producers I worked with on The Sims, and it was just a really fun job. I mean, it was unbelievable. It's a dream come true job.
I always thought it would be the most unique job any voiceover artist for that game got to do, because most of it is like there's not really English being spoken.
No, there's no English. You're speaking gibberish, which they call Simlish. What they would do is they would put us in a studio in a booth for, those were the 6-hour sessions, the 6-hour days. They were long. Mm-hmm. And they would have hundreds and hundreds of animations of little characters doing things, no audio. And they would have an intention, right? Like you're in there making a sandwich and you drop the mayonnaise, right? Like that's your intention. And you have to voice it, and you do like 3 or 4 takes, and you have to hit the timing of the picture, voice to picture. So it's tricky, but super fun. I was so sad when they recast me. Yeah, it was a bummer.
Do you have any advice for any aspiring actors, voice artists, or just creative minds out there?
Well, I have tons of advice. I mean, that's what I've been doing this since the 90s. So tons and tons of advice. I do coaching for voiceover and anything creative. I do think that creating your own content is really important, just continuously creating. That's a roller coaster, being a creator and an actor. Another thing is always say yes, like do free stuff, meet people, do things that you didn't know, say yes, go for it. And continue to do the work and stretch yourself, because you never know what leads to what.
Thessaly, it was incredible chatting with you. I very much appreciate you taking the time to do this with me today. It was incredible. You are sincerely so sweet. All of Thessaly's links, everything to our podcast, to our website, all the above, it's down below. Thank you everybody for tuning in to this. I can't believe I got this opportunity. Like, really, it's a lot.
Totally.
Thank you again. You take care and you have a lovely night, day, whatever it may be. And I wish you luck on everything.
Thanks, you too, Inti. You're delightful. Have a great night.
Thank you. You as well.